If you do not listen to her, your event will be shut down right now.
Before we dive into a set of facts and statistics that may boggle your mind, it's my duty to read you your Milo-approved Miranda rights. You have the right to controversial opinions and speech. You have the right to confront and to disagree with, to rebut and to question opinions that don't match your own. You have the right to do all of that without being told that you are violating a safe space. You have the right to reject the brainwashing forced upon you by professors that make Obama look like the aforesaid Che Guevara. And most importantly, you have the right to worship your dangerous faggot. Now, I'm not a real policeman, but no, I know. I have had some policemen in me. Sorry, I'll stop. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap. You should stop laughing. It just encourages me. That's not even in here. I'm just... But I do recognize that blue lives matter. That's right, yeah. Blue lives matter. Black Lives Matter doesn't really care about black lives. It's, as we'll discuss shortly, more of a movement for attention, money, and, like most activism, more money. To achieve these goals, they focus their energies on cases of black men killed by the police. Well, the work of criminologist Dr. Richard Johnson of the University of Toledo explains just how futile this is. And some of this stuff is tough to listen to. Some of this stuff is not pleasant. It's not the kind of thing that you want to discuss over cocktails, but it's important to understand the problem if you're going to fix it, which Black Lives Matter definitely can't. Based on 2012 numbers, it would take 40 years worth of blacks killed by police to equal the total number of blacks murdered by other blacks in a single year. Right. Less than 400 people a year are killed by cops. 61% of them are white men. 32% are black males. Black men are not killed out of proportion when you consider they're much more likely to interact with police. People are killed by police about as often as they're struck by lightning, but I don't see many protests about storms. Black males are 58% of those killed legally by private citizens in self-defense. And you think, aha, we've got you on something. Except 75% of them were killed by other blacks. FBI statistics on murder lay bare the real threat to black lives in America, and that is other blacks. Black men are about 6.5% of the US population, but they commit 52% of all murders. That has dipped to about 40% in recent years. Black men overwhelmingly murder other black people, and white people overwhelmingly murder other white people. So just like abuse and harassment on the internet, this isn't really a racial issue like that isn't really a gendered issue. Looking at overall violent crime, blacks are 27% more likely to attack whites than vice versa, and 8 times more likely to attack Hispanics. This is the shocking number I hope you take away from my visit. 90% of blacks that die of murder die at the hands of other black people, and that's from the FBI homicide report. 90%. We're not here to talk about why this happens, why 74% of black children are raised without fathers per Health and Human Services, and why the government seems intent on continuing a cycle of destruction within the black community. My message is simple. Black lives don't matter to Black Lives Matter. If they did, they'd be confronting these issues instead of ignoring them completely.
Car that's trying to get in. Push it out. Alright, push it. Pretty harsh arrest. That is a pretty harsh arrest.
trying to let you on the mic. Okay. All right, so we are trying to be reasonable. We are trying to be reasonable. We're gonna let you on the mic. We are gonna give you the mic. We will, after Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. You are disrupting this event. We will shut it down. You are shutting it down.
I want to welcome you, Bernie, to Westlake, where we said Black Lives Matter on Black Friday. We will fight for Black lives no matter what it takes. Where the Seattle School Department suspends Black students at a rate 6 times higher than their counterparts. Tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the ruthless murder of Michael Brown. And we're going to honor all of the Black lives lost this year, and we're going to honor the fact that I have to fight through all these people who said, my life matters! That I have to get up here in front of a bunch of screaming white racists to say my life fucking matters! How dare you!
Get up! Get up! Get up!
So what we're going to do right now,
How dare you!
right now, is do what people across the country are doing this weekend and have
How dare you!
since the day that Mike Brown was murdered and left in the street.
How dare she call me a racist? I won't.
And we are...
Not by her.
Did y'all hear that shit? Black women gotta be the stupidest motherfuckers in the world. Number one, you had to have some bitches that was up there that's fat. Number two, you had to have a motherfucker with all kinds of dumbass weave in her hair in different colors. Number three, you had to have a bitch up there cussing. Number four, you had a bitch up there being a big ass hypocrite. Okay, dumb bitch, how you gonna tell that man he can't tell you what to do? Then you turn around and tell him to be quiet. If black folks really wanted to do something, maybe they start acting civilized. Black folks in America, do me a favor. Separate yourself. Let the world know you don't agree with niggas. Let the world know right now the Black Lives Movement is bullshit. People are actually running around, marching, yelling, and willing to be arrested over a man that was a criminal. Yes, Mike Brown was a criminal. Right now, do me a favor. Fuck the Black Lives Movement. Fuck those involved in it. Do not join it. As a matter of fact, whenever someone says something or asks you something about it, just turn your back on them niggas. Now, they might harm you because that's what niggas do. If you don't go along with them as these whores showed you, black lives do not matter until black folks actually show that they do.
They apparently started walking onto the 5 just before 7 this morning. They're stretched across all lanes. Traffic is backed up for miles, and we understand that there are some drivers who have gotten out of their cars angry. Look at that. Look at that backup. I mean, we are in rush hour, folks, and these people are not happy. Commuters trying to get where they're going this morning, and the CHP arriving on scene and trying to keep them apart, trying to get the drivers to go back into their cars. Meantime, trying to get the protesters to leave. Yeah, if you're actually planning to head out at any time soon, and you're thinking of going on Northbound 5, you know you're going to have to take an alternate route here. One of the things, too, our photojournalists see protesters now picking up their signs. They seem to be moving off to the side of the 5.
Why don't they take these? Look at
A
this.
state police car is right there, and these people are spitting and hitting this guy's car.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing.
They're spitting at
Oh
him.
my God, and they're pouring stuff on the car.
Are you taking it? Are you taking it?
Yep.
On a night when traffic lights and crosswalks didn't seem to matter, the intersection of Lake and Minnehaha became a pulpit for protesters. But chants echoing the frustration felt in Ferguson were interrupted.
And this guy decided he don't want to wait. He decided to go ahead and test the crowd.
For a few seconds Tuesday afternoon, the patience and peace that persisted throughout these protests was disturbed by a driver.
And he decided to just go ahead and run through the crowd, and he backed up and hit more people behind the crowd. Then he went forward again, hit the crowd.
A woman suffered only minor injuries.
See, I think, I don't know if Roy's overhead, but I think there's probably, they're getting the pickup truck that went through there is what caused that.
What happened as night has come?
Let's watch. We've got a whole bunch of people now running south on Light Street, kind of after that pickup truck. You can probably see in that camera.
You want to be paid? Take it off. You want to be out here doing this dumb Get the over here.
The FBI did not send me. That's what I'm trying to say. I just want to see a little more understanding that some of these boys and girls are victims of a large system as a whole. And
you said you want to see acceptance?
I personally think.
What does acceptance mean?
You can accept. You don't have to say that you're going to promote it. You're paid for it, in a sense. But not.
We're not going to accept it.
Again.
What are you trying to get them to accept, Jack?
Homosexuality.
Accepting the full system, the full everything that's happened to everybody.
So your interests here are no longer useful, sister. So what do you want to do? We can stop. You can stop. Wait, you can stop right here. Well, you might be misinterpreted, but you got a choice. You can stop.
I'm here as
Go ahead.
Here we go, please.
You ain't gonna say nothing until she leaves, then we can talk. We talking about family. Yep. Homosexuals send in plans to disrupt and take us off of what we're talking about. We're straight black pride. We believe in black men, women, and children coming together and producing family. There's nothing for us to debate with homosexuals, except where the door is. So she found a door. There's nothing she can help us do while she's here. And then we move on with the discussion, but this is important.
Anger turned to action.
If everything goes up, and our pensions are going the other way.
Now it's all just evaporating.
Section in the heart of the city, and right now these retirees are blocking traffic, protesting, trying to get people to hear their message about pension reform. And as these people stood in the street, this is where the lunch rush protest turned ugly. Drivers honked and yelled. This beige van drove through the line, hitting a man in a walker, then speeding off.
Really? How so? Why does white life have value?
Well, I think
for who? No, excuse me, for who? Our argument is that white life is wrong.
Why?
Our argument is that we should never affirm white life. That your argument of just affirming all life in general is not good, especially not good for black people when white life itself is based off of black civilization.
Why shouldn't we affirm my life?
You're probably white.
I am white. Why shouldn't we affirm my life?
I don't understand why I have to care about your life anyways. There's no ethical reason as to why white people deserve to live. Affirming black life means that white death has to occur. That's why you should lose this debate and why your life ain't worth affirming.
Can I kill myself, like, under your arguments?
Sure.
Okay. So, should Odie kill himself?
I don't see why not.
Why should we do that? How does that help?
It's ethical.
How is it ethical? We all have some form or another of privilege. Why does that mean we should kill ourselves?
Because you have white privilege.
Why does having white privilege necessarily mean I should kill myself? Why shouldn't I, like, struggle against the structures?
Sure, struggling against the structure means putting yourself on the line, putting your body on the line. Do it. Affirm your suicide. That's cool.
That's very good.
I mean, it's, you know, it's one little form, it's one little step.
I mean, hello, darling.
Sir, please,
Do you need some help?
Sir,
Do you need
please.
some help?
Sir, please.
We'd like to ask you to please.
Sir, please.
White motherfuckers out here, y'all know with my friends. Fuck y'all. Hey, what y'all think? What that mean? What that fucking be your chest? What that be your chest? What that be your chest? What that be your chest? Don't worry about it, bitch. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
She's one of the organizers of the Black Lives Matter movement. And yesterday, Yusra Kogali helped lead a march on Queen's Park decrying racism. In February, however, Kogali posted what could be interpreted as a hate message of her own on social media. News Talk 1010 found this tweet. Please, Allah, give me strength not to cuss, kill these men and white folks out here today. Please, please, please.
The reason we're setting up an anti-racism directorate is that I believe that we still have systemic racism in our society.
Anti-black racism.
Well, and
Anti-black
yes,
racism.
And
Thank you for
beyond.
saying it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, no. Oh.
And that went on for several minutes. Here is what witnesses are saying happened. A woman says she was getting up to leave when she says she was pushed aside by Jeff Rorta, that's the head of the Police Officers Association, as he was addressing the committee chair, Alderman Terry Kennedy.
I mean, I was literally just trying to leave the meeting, and I got caught in whatever Rorta and Kennedy had going on.
Their exchange.
Yeah, I got caught in their exchange. So Rorta just jumped out into the aisle, pushed me over, tried to get to Kennedy. I'm like, wait a minute, don't push me. So he just started going off on me, pushing me.
You know, as I tried to exit, she continued to do that. 2 or 3 other anti-police radicals rushed over, and things de-escalated, or escalated from there.
You didn't push a woman, though?
No, no.
They got violent, smashing windows of stores and cars.
see this nappy ass hair on my head,
Is that
that
what it
means
is?
I'm one of those more militant Negroes. And you know what I'm here for? Because these redneck motherfuckers murdered Sandra Bland because she had nappy hair like me.
I have no doubt. Good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck.
We're not the enemy.
So do you agree with Malcolm X that white people should be killed? Is that why you're here?
You damn right I do.
You do?
You think I'm scared to say that to you?
You think white people
You
should be killed,
motherfuckers
huh?
thought we should be killed when y'all came and stole us from Africa and put us in chains and murdered us for over 400 years. So yeah, you do need to die. I think everybody else on the planet will have peace when you're dead.
Are you responsible for what your parents did?
Listen, I'm talking for me. I answered your question.
All right.
Now I'm done talking because I don't negotiate with fucking terrorists. I think you should go back to those caves that you crawled out of in the Caucasus Mountains because you can't leave black and brown people alone. We can't have any peace on the planet because of white supremacy and white existence. So yeah, fucking die or go back to the caves. Not scared to say it.
There's a lot of white people in the crowd. And that wasn't a joke. I don't want to stand up here and be angry because this isn't for me and this isn't for you. It's for the people that we lost and the people we may lose tomorrow and the people we lost yesterday. But I thought I'd take the moment to just like list out some facts that many of you probably don't know because you're white. I'm tired of the black and white dichotomy that happens every time we talk about race or anything that goes on in our country. But we never take the time to consider the shades in between, like mine. And as much as it is awesome that there's so many people here today, but it's like, who are you really here for? So,
Whoa. Hey, no. We want an opportunity to address. We want an opportunity on the mic.
Well, ask him.
Get him in check or we're shutting this event down. Now. If you do not listen to her, your event will be shut down right now. Right now. Your decision. Make a decision now.
One day. We are going to let you on the mic. Okay. All right. So we are trying to be reasonable. We are trying to be reasonable. We are trying to be reasonable. We are trying. We're going to let you on the mic. We are going to give you the mic. We will after Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders.
Do not tell me what to do.
After Senator Sanders.
Sit down.
After Senator Sanders. Okay. All right.
Let her speak.
All right.
Let her speak.
All right. We're shutting it down. You are shutting it down. You are disrupting this event. You are disrupting this event. We will. No, you are shutting it down. We are shutting. We will shut it down. You are shutting it down. You are. No. How long are you going to go? How long are you going to go?
Hold it, I'm happy to hold it. Excuse me. No. That's your attitude that I have nothing to say.
We will give you. How long do you want?
Let her speak. Let her speak.
No.
Stop asking questions and let her speak now.
No, we will give you a couple of minutes. We're going to let him.
I need you to move. I'm not going to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
That's fine.
Let me ask them to let you speak. Will you
Go
let
ahead.
me do that?
Fry like bacon, pigs in a blanket. Fry like bacon, pigs in a blanket. Fry like bacon, pigs in a blanket. Fry like bacon, pigs in a blanket.
This group marching.
There's a car that's trying to get in. Push it out. Alright, push it. Try to get away.
Supporting the Black Lives Matter movement for our church, Unitarian Society of Germantown.
So what's the message you're trying to get across?
We're suggesting that all lives matter, especially Black lives, who even blacks have been treated unfairly throughout history, and we're trying to make sure that they are treated equally to whites.
So with that counter argument right here, you know, one of the major issues that I hear with Black Lives Matter is the fact that police officers are killing these guys in record numbers. But if you actually look at the amount of black on black crimes in Chicago, it's no comparison. There's way more. If we took every person who'd been killed by a cop and multiplied it by 14, you still wouldn't even be able to amount the amount of black on black crimes in Chicago that have happened this year alone.
You know, there's no hiding the fact that there are black on black crimes, but on the other hand, our police are supposed to respect the laws and the people of the within the country, and they shouldn't be shooting people indiscriminately.
When you talk about black on black crime, you got to speak about the conditions that create that. We always speak about black on black crime. We don't talk about lack of opportunity, lack of jobs. In our neighborhood, young folks in our neighborhood have no jobs. So the black market and drugs are the jobs. You walk through North Philadelphia where I live at, all the stores are owned by Hispanics, Asians, and whites. And so we can't employ our young people. So when they fight and they kill and they murder each other, it's a condition created by society.
I mean, we've got a black president. He was successful. He came out and did something. We have an attorney general. I've got a lot of buddies who are black who are very successful, who have pulled themselves out of those situations and done something with themselves. So I think it's an individual choice whether or not you want to stay and be around that or you want to go and do something. Because it's the land of opportunity. Everybody in America has the opportunity to make something. Yeah, you do. You just have to get up and do it. You can sit here and you can have these invisible chains created by the government, or you can go out there and actually bust your butt and say, I don't want to be part of this, and go out and make something in your life.
Yes, many folks do that. You know, many folks in our community go to school, they work hard, and they move forward.
So, but then why should the ones who aren't willing to go out that, why should we have to march for that? If you want to go out and do something, then great. But if you don't and something bad happens and you turn to violence and being a criminal, then I don't see why we should be marching in the streets. What we should be marching in the streets for is the fact that there are over 40,000 people since 2015 and now that have been murdered by radical Islamic terrorists. Why is no one marching in the streets about that?
That's something that could also be marched for. But what we're talking about is in white suburban communities, when a white family is stopped by the police, they are in no danger of being shot. And that's the reality.
That's not true. I've had a cop draw a gun on me in El Paso, one in Dallas, and I've had it happen in South Carolina and it's called, what is it called? Clover, South Carolina.
We're still here to talk about it. How many young black men have been stopped by the police and now they're in the ground?
But how many people have you also seen in those videos that counteract that, reaching for something in their pocket when they're told not to move? I mean, that's something that happens.
Then you hit them with a taser.
This week?
Not this week. I've been in the RNC, so I'm traveling around. Yeah, sure, come on.
Okay, so from cradle to grave.
Wait, was it the guy that was laying in the ground? Laying on the ground?
Hands up.
Okay, yeah, that's a bad thing.
Yeah. So, look, violence is too prevalent in America. Everybody's affected by it. People of color are disproportionately affected by it. Yes, they're involved in all different angles. If that many white people were being killed, folks would be more focused on it.
There's more white people that are killed by cops.
But okay, let me say the United States of America has more people in prison than any country in the world.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The charging of the crimes and the sentencing are disproportionately slanted against people of color.
Well, I think we should I think we should make marijuana legal. I think that's stupid that people should be in jail for something like that.
Okay, well, I agree with you on that. But there are many public school systems in America that are failing. People of color are disproportionately affected by that. The poverty, the gap between the poor and the rich is growing. People of color are disproportionately affected by that. We want to make it better for everybody.
Well, Bernie Sanders says if you're white, you don't know what it's like to be poor. But I used to be poor. I used to live in a trailer.
Tons of white people know what it's like to be poor, and we want to fight for everybody to have a chance.
So you're talking about North Philadelphia. This has been a democratically run city for a long time. Do you think there's any correlation between poverty all over in some of these cities and the Democratic Party running them and trying to create an environment where people they depend on the government for everything that they get?
Well, not just that. The problem in the city of Philadelphia is the community does not hold politicians accountable. We've had black Democratic politicians in this town forever. And from term to term, they're there. They're not responsive to our needs. They only come around every 4 years. And it's a travesty. We need to hold folks accountable who are in office. Yeah, that's the major problem in the city of Philadelphia.
Is you're continuing to elect Democrats to run these cities. Look at Chicago, Democrat run. Look at Baltimore. Look at Philadelphia. Look at all these areas. You continue to vote these same people in, these same leadership. Well, no, but I know, but well, I'm saying mostly that it continues to happen. So I'm saying Philadelphians. I'm talking about Chicagoans. I'm talking about
I'm Reverend Kent Mathias, a Unitarian Universalist minister in Philadelphia. Who are you?
I'm Joe Biggs. I'm an American.
And who are you with?
I'm with America. Infowars.com.
Who is Infowars? I just want to get who are you? I don't want to know who you are.
We are a libertarian website.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's fine. So.
Well, here's my thing, though. Is what I want just to get back to that.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying you are specifically a Democrat, but if you look at these cities that are run mostly by Democrats, Chicago, Baltimore, and all that, that's where you have the most violence. That's where you have the most poverty. That's where you have the most killings and things like that. Don't you think it'd be time to kind of maybe switch things up?
To what?
To something different, because apparently, yeah, but this way hasn't worked. Everyone,
not the solution. The solution is to.
Well, I'm saying to stop voting for people like Hillary Clinton and things like that.
Wait. Let me start. Okay, so the unemployment rate is below 5 with Barack Obama as president. The Dow is at 19. Interest rates are as low as they've ever been. So that's a Democratic president. So what gas prices are extremely low. Are you giving credit to Barack Obama for any of that?
But he's a black guy. I thought he was treated bad. I thought black people weren't able to.
No. You're talking to me. I'm talking to you. All those things are happening right now with Democratic.
And that's my point.
Black leadership.
That's my point with Black Lives Matter is you can have black leadership in America who are at the highest levels right now making changes. So the entire argument that there's all these poor.
You're talking about Democratic leadership is bad for the country or something. Barack Obama, we have all those good things happening. What do you think?
What do you think about Barack?
Who gets credit for that? Who gets credit for under 5% unemployment rate? Who gets credit for that?
People getting up and doing their job.
Who gets credit for that George Bush left and Obama straightened out?
Oh, George Bush, I don't like him. I thought he was a dirtbag. He's a war criminal. I think Obama's a war criminal as well.
We don't have to spend a lot of time.
You got any other points you want to make too as well?
Because we're not here for long. We'd be glad to talk to you more another time because we want to be talking to a lot of people. Seriously. And here's my card. I'll give you my card. Cool. If anytime you guys want to talk, seriously. I'm glad to talk to you.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we take off?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I think the reality is, some of the points I agree with you're saying about how politics run in this country. In Philadelphia, we have a small organization called the Bloc Party. It stands for Build, Labor, Organize, Campaign. And that's open for Democrats, Republicans, Green Party, Libertarians, everybody who really wants to see community involvement, community support, and real government. Employment, and folks who are willing to work together for a better community. We aren't doing that now. I've appreciated some of the things that Obama has done as a president, something I don't agree with. I hated George Bush as a president. We need to look at holding politicians accountable and crafting candidates who really support the people. So what you really need is another political system
Well, yeah, the two-party system sucks. I mean, you get stuck between a a crap sandwich a lot of times.
In the unions, we talk about this all the time. The unions in the big cities you're talking about cause plenty. They do some good things, but they cause plenty of problems.
I support unions though because you need unions in terms of
Too, but sometimes
benefits
they're too
and workers.
aggressive and manipulative of how.
We're gonna trump Hillary! T-R-U-M-P! We're gonna trump Hillary! T-R-U-M-P! We're gonna trump Hillary!
Support a racist.
Oh,
That's sad. That's real sad. He's against you. Why will you support a racist?
Tell me what he said about
He's
African
going to send you back to Africa. That's what he said. He said send Mexicans back to Mexico. You are a disgrace to America for being a young black man supporting a racist.
Thank you. Yeah, that is awesome.
That's sad.
That's awesome.
How does your parents feel about you holding a Trump sign?
Oh, they're Trump fans too.
Where they disgrace to America too, because he doesn't like you or your
All my
parents.
friends are immigrants. You didn't answer my question, by the way. Yeah, you didn't answer our question. What has he said?
He said send Mexicans back to Mexico.
No, he said
don't let Muslims here.
Yeah, he said.
Why?
Are you gonna let me talk or are you gonna yell?
No, I'm telling you because you holding this Trump flag and you need to be taught.
Educated conversation, can we? We cannot do that, right?
And then kids are telling you against your own people.
She just graduated high school, so she's not a kid no more. Okay.
What would you tell him when a racist tell him send Mexican back to Mexico? What would you tell a young black man?
I only believe that he's gonna send illegals back.
Yeah, exactly.
He said in your face, send Mexican back to Mexico.
He said illegals. Just illegals.
Illegals
only. And
Please, his wife is not legal. She's from Europe.
She's legal.
How she was born in Europe?
Okay,
why
but
would
she has
her
a U.S.
husband be running for president?
But she has a U.S. citizenship, so that's just because she was born in another country does not mean she has a legal citizenship.
That's
fine. You don't have to.
Real lad. If he's
and I can say
elected,
the same thing about
he
you, but I
would
would
be
not say that
against
I have
you
a
because of
bigger
your
mindset
skin
and I'm
color,
only
young
16,
man.
and you're probably like 30 something, but
I
you're
believe in
yelling at a
Black
16-year-old
He's against
for his
black
candidate.
people.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
Go listen to him
Yeah.
speak, and he'll prove you wrong. There are many black people who support Trump.
Plenty of
We
them.
came with it.
I think his VP
So
might be
many?
black.
How many?
Oh, how about you once at that rally? You see a lot of
Yeah,
black
we saw a
people.
lot.
You know what?
The media won't show you that though.
People in there gonna stand up against Trump.
You
More
sure,
black.
sure about that? Sure about that?
Black people that he asked his security guards to kick out of the rally.
Oh, and Valdosta State?
Yeah.
Talking about, they were protesting against him.
Yeah, and what is that?
You
That's
cannot
shit.
protest in a rally. Then why would you do that?
Why? It's freedom of speech.
We don't go to your rally.
white people.
We don't go to your rally. He does the same thing to white people too. So I don't understand. He does the exact same thing to white people too. So.
And that makes it okay.
I mean, if you're gonna protest against us, yeah.
They don't let Trump supporters like freely protest.
Okay.
You should go get educated on what's important.
I'm very educated, man. I'm very educated.
We're being
Thank you.
educated.
really
That's
sad.
why we came
Sad that you're
Because
brainwashed.
we learned about our
Sad. It's sad
What'd
that
you
you're
graduate with?
brainwashed.
What's your degree?
Where'd you graduate with?
That's not the question.
Yes, it is.
The question.
Are you educated in economics? Are you educated in any sort of political background?
I've worked on many campaigns, and it's so sad.
That's very vague.
It's very sad.
What campaign?
It's very sad that
I
you're being
worked
so
for
vague.
our president twice.
Okay. One of the worst guys ever. But okay.
Oh yeah, one of the worst guys ever. Let's look at the condition of our country.
This country
8
was
years.
built on love, not hate. Donald Trump is a hater.
That's fine.
He's a racist.
He's not. He's not.
He is a racist.
He's getting
You know this country is built on religion too, not religion.
He believes in hate.
You know this country
Do
is
you
built on
know the
religion.
history of his grandfather and father?
my
They
God.
was KK members.
This-
They own real estate
How do you
in
know that?
New York.
How do you know that?
Go Google it.
No, you Google it because
Go
obviously your
read the
facts are very
history of Donald Trump
misconception.
family.
You have very horrible facts. You come to me
People
with
allow black and
you
Jews
come with me to
and
lie, so I don't know if I can
properties
believe
in
that.
New York when he
I
bought
was gonna look it up
property.
for myself, so
That
I
was
can say
his
the truth.
grandfather and his father was KK members.
Okay, that's
Go
fine.
read the history.
KKK members, you mean
Yes.
not KK members?
They
I don't
was
think
Ku
that's
Klux
true.
Klansmen. KKK.
Klansmen, okay.
Who's against your color?
Okay.
Against your skin?
Exactly.
Against your people, your
I think
ancestors?
the Democratic Party founded the KKK, by the way. Just saying.
Let me tell you,
What
I'm for the
political
people.
party?
It's not
What
because
political
of
party?
Democrat or Republican. I'm for the people.
Okay, that's good.
The people are united, will never be defeated. And that's what I believe in.
And
Donald Trump
believes
trying
in that
to
too.
divide the country.
He's not trying to divide us.
Yes, he is.
He's trying to unite us.
Yes,
Just because his policies are not like yours doesn't mean he's not trying to.
What you mean quality?
I said policies.
Policy.
Yes, but you're spitting at me.
When a person tell Mexicans, he gonna build a wall to send
What
them
do you
back
mean why?
to their
Because we have
country.
so much illegal immigration. That's why.
Look at his wife. How you think she got here?
She's legal.
She's not legal.
Yeah, she
She's from
is.
Europe.
There's a way to legally immigrate.
Exactly. Did you
She's
not know
she
that?
wasn't born
You
in
don't know
America.
that. Oh my God, this is not
I'm
good.
gonna argue with you, young
Yeah, because you don't know anything. You need to go learn how to spell your first name, go to college, get a high school education, and then you come back and talk to me. Thank you.
Do you know his own party is turning
I said
against
go get a
him
high school education.
because of
and
the
come back and talk to
racist
me.
he teaches?
Go get a high school education and come talk to me.
No, you need to graduate.
I'm gonna get. Yeah. You got that Confederate flag.
I do have a high school education, any education. That my
Oh, what high
parents
school
sent
did
me
you
to school.
graduate from?
Your parents didn't send you to the correct school to teach you about Donald Trump. The history of Donald Trump is racist.
There are so many schools in Georgia. There are so many high schools in Georgia.
You would learn, young man.
Okay.
You would learn.
Can you stop spitting at me?
That's all I got to say. You would learn.
Thank you. Are you done?
Go read a book
Thank
about
you.
your ancestors.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How about you go learn how to read and get true facts, not lies?
You is disgrace to America.
Oh, disgrace? What is that word? You mean disgrace? Is that the word you meant? Okay.
Support a racist against your skin color.
Okay. All right.
What do you
Thank
have
you.
to say about black people?
Yeah, what did I have to
Name
say?
what Trump ever said about black people.
Thank you.
You on
What
TV. You on TV. What do you
Black
ever say
people
about white
was
people?
lazy
What did he
and
ever say?
Did you see it?
No,
He
I
said
said
black
we're
people
lazy?
are. He said black people are
I
lazy.
ain't never
and
said
Go
that.
Google it. Go
No,
see
no,
it.
no, no,
Go
no,
Google it.
How about
Y'all should see it.
let's hear what
He
Donald
said
Trump
this
has
on
to
live
say.
TV.
How about?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
You have to figure out how powerful they are. So just
They
don't
not
let it
powerful
go.
because they support a race.
Media is powerful and they're going to twist you.
I thought this was a place that you could, don't be on the side, but my first recommend is if we are peaceful protesters, we are allowed to.
What has he said about black
Can I finish your statement before I leave? I'm gonna abide by the policy.
disgrace. I believe it's disgrace.
You know what? You're doing your job, so I'm gonna give you some ammunition. You ready? I'm gonna give you some ammunition as a Christian on a mission. You ready?
That's right.
On the sidewalk.
Why is it that you can go on iTunes and the music is available for sale and it's rap music and it all contains racial lyrics about white people, but there is no black music that can there's nothing saying anything about any black people in any music.
And no
period.
country music
But
at
you can
all.
buy it on iTunes.
Exactly.
Is anybody going to address the
But
double
it's okay to say
standard?
that.
Because I'm
It's
going
not-
to address the
take
double
that button
standard.
off. It's not about black
So
lives
why
matter.
can you
You
go
keep
on
saying
iTunes
united.
about music,
It's all
rap
lives that
music
matter.
that has
All
white
lives matter. We're all united. So don't say black lives matter. Say all lives
Black
matter.
lives do it.
All lives matter.
Black lives matter first. They're all lives.
racist
Our
for
black
having
people
all
are
your
being
church.
killed every day in America
Are you
by
saying that because
racists.
more white teenagers got killed by the police officers last year?
Where's your statistics? Show me proof that more.
CNN, go look it up.
A young black man got killed in Chicago 16 times by the police.
Okay.
And he was young, 17 years old.
Right.
Do you know 15-year-old Michael Moore just got killed in Mobile, Alabama? 15 years old for holding a cell phone. Do you know?
Yeah, he wasn't
Does
killed
you
for
know
his
that?
black. He wasn't killed for his black. Okay, what about
Does you know that more
what
black
about the
people
white
are
guy?
being killed in this country?
What about the white guy?
More black people living in poverty are homeless. We have kids your age are homeless living on the street in Atlanta.
What that do to me? So are white people.
Because you should have stopped saying Black Lives Matter doesn't matter. And you black yourself.
60% of white people are on welfare, right? Okay. So
Let me tell you.
what are you telling me?
When white people live on welfare, they are treated better than
No,
black
because
people.
they're working. They're
Let me
working
tell you,
hard.
They work because they on welfare, because they work hard.
No,
What?
I'm saying is,
I don't understand.
We should have
Young man, learn your history.
What about all the white people that are doing what
Dr. Martin King died for you.
saying the person that has Martin Luther King is not the only person that fought for civil rights.
Dr. Malcolm X died for you.
Malcolm X was a Muslim. He did not die for me.
Do you know your history? Does you know your history, young man? What happened in Orlando? Did Donald Trump say anything about the LGBT people who was killed in Orlando? No, he went and stood up and talked about we're not going to allow Muslim and Islam in this country. But he did not say anything about the LGBT community.
LBT or LGBT?
LGBTQ.
He
That's
did.
what.
He gave him a shout out on Twitter.
Yes, it means queer.
Yeah, he did.
Huh? Young man, you had a lot of learn.
Okay.
Learn.
But
But hanging with them Trump support, you would not learn.
Oh, so what's wrong with them because they're white? Because they're white? I can't have racist white, right?
But they turning you against your people for standing here holding a stand for a white standard.
So you believe that all black people should be part of a hive mind?
So
you believe that all black people should be part of a hive mind?
I'm not saying all white people are racist. I'm saying Trump is a racist.
No, you said
Trump is a racist.
Show me when and where he has been racist. Show me when and where he has been a racist remark against anybody.
He would be against you and your people and your families. That's all I got to say.
That's all. Bye.
And remember, Black Lives
Matter. You're not all lives matter. That's the person that says united. Let's go. T-R-U-M-P. We are gonna Trump Hillary. T-R-U-M-P.